Yo, what's up, guys? It's Sean Kalwali back here again, and I'm here to make another Dragon Ball video. I know it's been a while, right? Today's video is going to be on Goku and his character discussion, his character development throughout the series, um, from all the way from Dragon Ball to now into Super. Uh, Goku was when he in Dragon Ball was always a naive child. Uh, he was very secluded from the rest of the world, especially after the death of his grandfather Gohan. Um, and it wasn't on until he met Bulma that he started to see experience more of the world around him besides the woods. Uh, in Dragon Ball, Goku had not really learned the proper customs of day-to-day life, which is this is evident in the way he was surprised at common day things like houses, cars. Hell, he thought marriage was food. So I mean, you gotta realize this is not a normal guy here. Throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball, not like the franchise, but just the first series, Goku faces lots of trials that kind of mold him to the character he becomes uh, in Dragon Ball Z. He experiences the pain of death in when Bora dies, and because this is the first experience he's truly had with death, and we see one of Goku's best character moments as he tries to help Upa revive his father using the Dragon Ball. Uh, we then move on into the King Piccolo arc where Goku truly experiences the death of someone that he knows personally and that he cares about in Krillin. And I think this is a major development for Goku in this series because in when Krillin died, it was the first time that we had ever seen Goku truly angry, um, to the point of like bloodlust. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and that's probably one of the things that made that arc. Uh, Now, going into Dragon Ball Z, well, hell, even before that, the last arc in Dragon Ball before Dragon Ball Z, but when Goku was basically a young adult. At this point in the series, Goku had been a lot more sophisticated than when he was 12. But he still retained his old goofball attitude, and he still wasn't that smart when it came to like education and things like that. However, as it's been pointed out several times in the series, he was a genius fighter, so you can never take that away from him. Uh, he seemed a lot more calm in at this stage in his life. I mean, of course, this was 3 years after training with Kami, in exchange for the revival of the Dragon Balls, uh, which basically revived his friends. Um, Now, evidence of Goku still um, retaining some of his naive outlook was when he forgot about the promise he made to Chi Chi to marry her because he thought marriage was food. Um, Now this leads us into the next topic on the discussion is the primary differences between Goku in the Japanese and the way Goku was portrayed in Funimation. Obviously this wouldn't be apparent until um, the Funimation version of Dragon Ball Z. Now Akira Toriyama stated that he wasn't always a fan of Goku in Funimation because they made him seem uh, more Superman-like than he truly was. Goku was always meant to be a flawed character, um, and if you've been watching Dragon Ball Super, that's something that has been made quite apparent, especially in the new arc of the Universe Tournament Saga. Uh, Goku, um, essentially, Goku has guaranteed the deaths of unquantifiable amount of people just for his own basic selfishness, because that's what it was, selfishness, because he was bored. Now, I'll be very honest. When I started watching Super, Goku's character frustrated me so much because at this point, the only really exposure I had was watching Dragon Ball Z and more specifically Dragon Ball Z Kai, because that's what introduced me into the series. Uh, so watching Goku do like, I mean, Goku has always had this in him, even in Dragon Ball Z, but it was never to this extreme. Like for example, when Goku was fighting Kid Buu, he and Vegeta, instead of working together, were doing playing rock paper scissors, or another example, when he gave Cell a senzu bean because he wanted Cell to be fighting at full power. I mean, I get that he believed in Gohan and all that, but that was still a reckless move that really could have backfired had Cell just gone AWOL and decided to lose the plot. Uh, letting Vegeta go. It's probably a big misconception, is that Goku let Vegeta go out of the whole righteousness and all that crap. No, in the manga, in the Japanese version of the manga, Goku let Vegeta go strictly because he wanted to beat Vegeta on his own and uh didn't want help from the guys. So even back then, he'd always been selfish because he essentially is putting the Earth at risk just to satisfy his own Saiyan bloodlust, and that's what it comes from. It stems from the fact that he's a Saiyan, and uh, you guys have to remember that. Like the Saiyans, you have to remember the Saiyans were not uh good people per se. You should check out my video on why weren't the Saiyans stronger. Maybe after this video, just need to put that little bit of advertisement in. But yeah, the Saiyans weren't exactly good people. They were they were savages that enjoyed fighting. And just because Goku was a bit more I shouldn't say sophisticated, but what's I looking for right now? Civilized. That's not really the one, but that will work. Civilized, and because of his earthly experiences, doesn't quell Saiyan uh the Saiyan desire in him for fighting. And these are when it becomes more apparent. I mean, it's not really as apparent in Dragon Ball, but that's just because he's too he doesn't even know he's a Saiyan, and he's too little for it to really become like bothersome, should I say? Uh, so anyway, what was I? What was I? Yeah. Goku spares Vegeta, uh, and out of pure selfishness, really. Another example. Well, while it may not be Goku being selfish in a sense, it's definitely the Funimation uh playing up his hero qualities more than his not so good qualities was during his fight with Frieza when he turned into a Super Saiyan, and he had that whole speech about with Frieza, and he was like, "Oh, allied a good nightmare for you," that crap. In the original version of Dragon Ball Z, it wasn't. It was not. It was no. The speech was nowhere near as long. It was basically just Goku making fun of the fact that Frieza could destroy entire planets, but couldn't destroy a single man. Uh, so yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's the point I'm trying to get across, is that Goku's hero qualities is not as um apparent, or shouldn't have been as apparent, in the original version of Akira Toriyama's mind. The way Goku was supposed to be in Akira Toriyama's mind is Goku's still a good guy. Like, he's still a good goofy guy, but he's not this heroic Superman that he the Funimation basically portrayed him to be. Um, Now to back to Super to his character his characterization through the arcs. In Dragon Ball Z, Goku doesn't really change that much in essence. The His character development was more or less over by the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. It more or less shifts to his son. Now, that could be another video for another day talking about Gohan, but this is Goku's video. So now I want to talk about Dragon Ball Super. And the reason I want to talk about Dragon Ball Super is because I know a lot of people did not watch Dragon Ball Z in its Japanese subs. I mean, I didn't either. I mean, I've seen lots of clips of different experiences that Goku was in, which is how I can even give really any type of background on this video. I've done a lot of research about the way Goku was, or should have been, should I say, in in his original um, material. Now, Dragon Ball Super really opened my eyes to just how much of a, I don't want to say this word because I mean this is not a word I usually associate with Goku, but it's the fact how much of a dick Goku actually is. Now, besides what had said before about Goku essentially ensuring the destruction of an unquantifiable amount of people just for his boredom, and him being so nonchalant about it too. That's the part that really gets to me. Um, Besides that, there have been more. If you just look at the way he talks about, even in the Goku Black Saga, if you look at the way he talks about Black and talks about how he wants to deal with Black, it doesn't sound like a hero. It just sounds like a guy that looks like he wants to have a good fight, and um, Black just happens to be a strong guy that can give him that, and also happens to be a bad guy at the same time. Uh, another example of this in Dragon Ball Z was in the Buu saga when Goku could have destroyed Majin Buu. He says this himself. He could have destroyed Majin Buu, but he didn't want to because he wanted to give everyone else a chance. Now, you got to look at it this way. Goku doing that ensured that the Earth got destroyed. Before the Earth got destroyed, every person got extinct by Majin Buu in his extinction attack, showing Zamasu how to do the Zero Mortals plan properly. And this again stems from Goku's Saiyan pride. Now, another aspect that that Goku's character of Goku's selfishness is the way he treats his family. I mean, while Chi-Chi may be looked at as a nagging wife, and I mean she can be very nagging, don't get me wrong, but some of the nagging that she does is very justified. I mean, Goku, look at the end of the Cell arc. I mean, yeah, he had this heroic sacrifice and everything, and don't get me wrong, that's a very heroic thing to do, but he could have easily went back to the Earth after he died, as everyone was stating, by using the Namekian Dragon Balls. And what does he do? He stays on the other world and gives this BS excuse that the reason he stayed in the other world was because he wanted to protect the Earth by making sure his presence was in there. We all know the real reason why he did what he did was just so he can train.